Hello friends, welcome to Shauna Stitches. I'm Shauna and this is my backyard. This is a continuation of my Tour De Fleece series for 2025, and if you haven't already seen video 1, I would suggest doing so because in video 2 we're going to take off right where we left off from the last one, which is going to be talking about washing 1 pound of my coated merino fleece from Apple Creek Farms. Yeah, so it's been cold soaking all night, and let's see how the water looks this morning. Okay, here's the big reveal. So let me grab my tongs, and you can see by the color of the water that we got some dirt out of there, and that's without soap, without hot water. It's just literally cold water. So all that dust and dirt just comes right off. So since this doesn't have soap in it, I will dump this water onto my fig tree, which isn't giving me figs. So this acts as kind of a fertilizer of sorts because it is organic and it does have some dirt and things in it. And then we'll start getting some water heated up. I just measured the hottest hot water that I can get out of my tap with I have a gas water heater, and I turned it all the way up. And it only gets up to 141.6, and MellyKnits recommends 145. So I am currently boiling some water on my stove, which I have done in the past, and it's going to be over 145 total, but I'm okay with that. I have my Power Scour by Unicorn Clean ready to go. I have a full gallon of this, and I just fill up these bottles because it's much easier than dealing with a gallon. And I have my Unicorn Clean Fiber Rinse, which I didn't realize I had used so much of this. You only use like a tablespoon, no, a half tablespoon. No, never mind. Yeah, half tablespoon per gallon. So I'll use more than that. But anyway, it's not necessary, but it says that it is anti-static conditioning. And I think with such a fine fleece, that will be important. So I will do that step. And we're just waiting for hot water at this point. Okay, now it sets for 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 20 minutes that this has been soaking. It's still super hot because I leave the lid on, and that helps hold in the heat. And if I didn't say, I used 2 tablespoons of the Power Scour. So you see how it has that like milky appearance? My understanding is that is lanolin. That's what you're seeing. So I'm going to put on my rubber gloves. I will not film this, but I'm just going to lift it out of this bucket, put it in that empty bucket, and then I'm going to walk the bucket to my top loader washing machine and do a spin cycle to get the excess water out of here. There's other ways you can do it. You can just push it out, but I like using the washing machine. and it just helps get the water out. You can see, I don't know, yeah, you can see the steam coming off. It's still quite hot, which is why I'm wearing gloves. There's the bottom of the bucket after I dumped out the water, and you can see there's definitely some dirt in this coated fleece. Much less than a regular uncoated fleece though. Okay, the fleece is out of the spin cycle on my washing machine, and you can see it looks pretty dry. I do not want to agitate it at all at this time, but that's what it's looking like. And I mean, my uneducated guess is that a lot of the lanolin came out. But I'm going to do 2 more scours. The first one had 2 tablespoons of power scour, and I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of power scour for each of the next 2. During my 20-minute timers, I have been winding up the next 10 mini skeins for my Marled Magic blanket. This is going to be another one of the seed stitch fade sections, and I'm pretty excited about it. All right, here's the water after scour number 2. So I would say it's very hard for you to see probably because it's getting sunny, but it's less milky in appearance, still some. So I'm sticking to still gonna do a 3rd scour just to be safe. Okay, the 3rd and hopefully final, it's gonna be final for now, scour. You see that water looks much clearer than it has. And so this will go back into my washing machine to get spin dried again. And then we will do 2 rinses. And I will just do the, what's it called? The conditioner on the last rinse. So 1 rinse without. Well, I've been waiting on 20-minute timers and the spin cycle on my washing machine, I got started on section 6 of my Marled Magic. Now that that's going, I'm gonna do some spinning, yay! Okay, finally ready for some spinning, and you get to see my face, which it's been a while because we've been doing fleece things. This is where I am starting off the day. If you just got done watching week 1, you might notice that my bobbin looks like it has slightly more than where I left off that video, and it's true. I did do just a tiny bit more spinning because I was waiting for my week 1 video to download, so why not spin? Anyway, this is where we're starting. I have this much left of my 3rd quarter of this braid. So after that, I just have 1 piece left, which is a quarter of the original braid. Oh, let me grab my bobbins because if you haven't seen video 1, you don't know what I'm plying this with. Hold on. So this has been a long project. I spun this during Tour De Fleece 2024, a whole year ago. I actually started on July 14th of 2024. I don't think I can finish plying by July 14th of 2025 because today is the 12th, but I can maybe get my singles done. And this one was half spun in 2024, and I finished it this Tour De Fleece. And the one that I just showed you that's on my bobbin has only been spun this year. So let's make some progress. Okay, here we are. Rinse 1 is done. And that looks super clear. I hope you can see that. It looks great. So I'm going to do 1 more rinse. Well, I'll spin this out in my washing machine, do 1 more rinse, and I will add the conditioner to it. Oh, that looks so good. I don't know if I've ever washed a fleece and had it look that clean. Quite happy with it. The final rinse is done. This one had the fiber rinse in it, so the conditioner, and yeah, it looks really clear. So this is going to go for 1 more spin in the washing machine, and then I will lay it out and we'll take a look. Welcome to my workout room, also known as the wool drying room. There's our Peloton bike, a big fan. Behind that closet with the mess in front of it, that's where I keep all my spinning stuff. My wedding dress. What do you do with an old wedding dress? It's just taking up room. Anyway, yeah, here is the fiber. All I did was dump it out of the bag. I haven't done anything to it. And you do notice we're strategically in front of the big fan. I wanted to put this outside, and look at this. Here we go, coated fleece. That is not focusing. See, will it focus on my leg? There we go. That's a piece of grass. So even a coated fleece has some VM in it. But anyway, I wanted to put this outside. It's just too windy, too breezy. So yeah, I'm not trying to agitate this at all still. All I want to do is just flatten it out a bit so that it can get more air, I guess. Yeah, it'll be easier once it's a little more dry, I think. And I don't want to screw it up. So there, I think that's as much as I'm willing to mess with it for now. So that is what 1 pound of wash fleece looks like. And if you're saying this looks terrible, of course the lighting isn't great either, but you know, just the look of it, wait till it starts to dry because it completely transforms. It's really quite amazing. So I'm going to turn that fan on. It's weird how outside the breeze, like it'll blow away, but if I turn this fan on, it shouldn't really blow away. And actually, I might move it a bit closer to the fan. That's it. My first pound of my merino fleece is washed. Of course, we have to wait for it to dry. That was not a bad process. I started at 8:30 this morning and I finished up at 12:15. That could have been a lot faster if I didn't use my washing machine to spin it out after each cycle. I bet you spinning it takes 10 to 15 minutes each time. So I don't know, I probably could have been done around 11 maybe, but I'm not mad about it. So anyway, I was going to, excuse me, I was going to go ahead and do the next pound and cold soak it overnight tonight, and then tomorrow Sunday I was going to wash it. But I think I'm going to stick to what I originally said I was going to do, which is to see how this pound turns out first, because if I've done anything that might have screwed it up, I don't want to go ahead and ruin a second pound. So we'll be patient, we'll wait, we'll do the right thing and see how it comes out. I finished spinning the 3rd quarter of my fiber. There it is. Someone in, I can't remember what group it is now, one of the spinning groups I'm in, where I posted a photo, they said the color of this reminds them of milk after you eat Fruit Loops. And now I can't see anything else. It's so funny. So I am going to prepare the 4th quarter just like I did with the 2nd and 3rd. I'm going to use my Diz to do that, and I will stick to the middle hole. I had some questions in the last video about what this is. I don't know if I wasn't clear, or, you know, sometimes it's hard to hear, or if you've never heard the word before. It's a Diz, D-I-Z, and they asked where you can get these. I found this one at a fiber festival in Albany, Oregon, called the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival. I cannot remember the name of the maker, but he had some beautiful handmade hand combs and hackles and stuff like that. He's probably somewhat local to my area because Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival is not like a huge show like Rhinebeck where people come from all over. That being said, I probably paid more than I needed to for this little piece of wood with holes in it. I don't remember how much, maybe, I don't know. I'm hesitant to guess. Somewhere between $10 and $20 is my guess. But I wanted to support him because he had some beautiful stuff, and I really wanted like a hackle, excuse me, a hackle or something. But yeah, it was just out of my price range and I wasn't really in the market for one. So I got this instead. That being said, you also have one here. This is made by Katrinkles. Same concept, you can see the holes in it. And I would say these are, yeah, the one in the Katrinkles is quite a lot smaller than the ones in this. I'd say their large one is probably the size of the medium or roughly there. So yeah. I've never actually used this one, but it's great. I keep it with all of my wraps per inch cards from them. So if I ever lose my pretty one, I should say misplace. I don't think I'll lose it permanently, but If I ever can't find it, this one I should always be able to find. The other questions I had in my video last time was, try and show this to you. Why do I do this? Why do I do it and what is it called? It's called cross lacing. And all I do to cross lace, so this is going to be hard to show you, is I bring up the strand that's wrapping around the bobbin underneath the flyer arm that is not the one I'm using the hooks on. So the opposite flyer arm of the hooks I'm using, it just gets wrapped underneath and right over the top. Or maybe it's over the top and under the bottom. Anyway, it'll make sense when you look at it. I think mine might be slightly different because I'm spinning my singles in the S direction. It will make sense when you go to do it. Just take your single and wrap it around that arm. Why I do that is because if you'll notice, my loading of the bobbin is pretty even. And I have found that when you cross lace, it allows the single to fill an area probably about that big, like a quarter to half inch or so. Whereas like if you only use the hook, you have to move the hook a lot more often so that you don't get a huge buildup in one spot. You still have to move the hook, but I'd say it's the next best thing to a woolly winder or an auto winder, and it doesn't cost you anything. So give it a try. The other thing that I've noticed that it does, and I've heard other people say the same thing, it kind of dampens or reduces the amount of pull from your brake band. So it might mean that you need to turn up your brake band a little bit, like increase the tension. But I like that also because it just feels smoother. Anyway, I really like it. I pretty much always do it. I can't think of a time where I'm not doing it. I guess I don't do it to ply. Maybe I should try it to ply. I don't know. But yeah, give it a try and see what you think. Hello, it's time for a check-in. It is 2:49 p.m. I have been spinning my little heart out. That is where we are. The bobbin is really filling up. And my husband's awake and he's ready to go to another town to go to a bike shop to get his bike repaired, and I have some things to do. But this is where we're at. This is all that is left of the last quarter. I think I spun at least half of this already. Like, I don't know. It's just going super fast. Anytime I get that feeling of like, wow, this is spinning up so fast, I'm always slightly terrified that I'm now suddenly spinning thicker. I don't think so, but let me check my wraps per inch. I don't know. It seems like it's okay. I think we're doing okay. I think I was just in the zone because I'm rewatching. I haven't watched it yet. I'm just watching the replay of the MellyKnits Stash Dashers Live. It's Saturday, so every Saturday of the Tour De Fleece. If you are part of the Stash Dashers group, she does a live where she does drawings to see. There's a lot of giveaways, both from participating spinners and companies and just a lot of people. And if you win, then you get some really cool stuff. There's been support spindles and fiber, both raw and processed, and yarn, hand spun yarn. I'm forgetting what else, but some really, really cool stuff. So if you're not part of Stash Dashers this year, I highly recommend it next year. But yes, I haven't made it through. We're leaving, so I will have to wait to see if I'm a winner until whenever I get finished watching this. So, yep, I'm going to take a break. I don't know, depending on when we get back and what we do tonight, which, as we know, last night's plans did not go according to plan. Actually, you don't know that unless you watched the last video, but whatever. Yeah, we'll see. I would love to finish this tonight. That's what I was trying to say. Can I finish this tonight? We shall see. To be continued. I'm back, and apparently it's the time of night where my hair is crazy again. We did go for a walk, and I think that's what does it. Anyhow, I have an exciting update. Let's see. It is 8:46 p.m. and I finished the singles. So exciting. So I don't know when, but soon these will all get plied together. And I'm really excited to see what it's going to look like. I will, this has been resting for over a year now. I guess not quite a year, just shy of a year, because we did finish the singles before July 14th. And this one's been resting since, I don't know, a few days ago. So it's at least had some time to rest. But this one, I don't know. I probably could start plying tomorrow, but I don't know. What's your take on letting singles rest? I know some people swear by it. Other people never do it. I don't know. I generally always have let them rest, so I probably will. But yeah, so I will have to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm either going to ply or spin. And I have an idea in the back of my head. If I spin, I have, I have several other spins in progress, but there's one in particular that I think I will probably choose to work on because it is on my electric e-wheel. So that is my update for the day. Singles are done. So I've spun, between this and this, I've spun like 6 ounces in 8 days. That is a lot for me. And pretty fine singles. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Okay, I will talk to you tomorrow. Hello and good morning again from the workout / wool drying room. It is July the 13th and it's about 8 a.m. and it is Tour De Fleece day 9. And I thought we would come check on the fleece that I washed yesterday. There it is. I think it's almost all the way dry, but I'll leave it in front of the fan the rest of today. But do you see how much it fluffed up since yesterday? Yesterday it looked all matted down, for lack of a better word, and today it is just real fluffy and soft. And I think it turned out really well. I mean, for those people who wash and keep all the locks together, this is probably not their dream washing scenario. But I'm not feeling any felting at all. It feels lanolin free. It's soft, so soft. So I think this is going to be really nice when it's prepped. My thought is to, after it's dry, because like I said, I'm going to give it another day. I think I'll take, just look at that. I think I'll take probably, I don't know, 30 to 50 grams twice and comb that much and then card that much. So we'll see. And I still need to weigh it and see how much weight we have, but I'm going to wait till it's super dry. Hello, it is July the 13th and Tour De Fleece day 9. I am finally sitting down to my wheel. It is 12:41 p.m., later than I'd hoped to get started today, but I filmed a regular episode of the podcast. It's currently uploading and that takes time. Let's see if I can pick this up. I have my electric eel wheel Lazy Kate all set up. This is the new version, which I don't know how new it is, but it has magnets. See that magnet right there? So they lock together, they magnetize together. I've not used this one yet. I used the original version and it worked fine. It just wasn't very heavy, so this is designed to be heavier. I do have the Lazy Kate set up in front of me right here. My wheel's here, Lazy Kate's there. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what I think. And I'm just very excited to start plying these together to see what the yarn looks like. I have my empty bobbin on here, and I did remember to switch the direction to Z. Most people spin singles Z and ply S, but this one is opposite, so I did remember to change it. And I'm just going to give it a go and see what happens. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. I'll check in with you when I have something on my bobbin. Well, that didn't take long, and maybe I haven't given it a fair shot, but I do not like the Lazy Kate up here. I'm going to rearrange and put it behind me. But I forgot to tell you about one of my favorite, very niche spinning tools. That's said totally jokingly. This is a chip clip. So let's see. I know you cannot see my spinning right now. Let me put this on here and I'll show you what I do with this. You know, other people have other ways, but this is how I secure my yarn so that the twist doesn't go away. So I just fold over my fiber that is plied and chip clip it into place, and that keeps my twist where I want it. Also, there is what the yarn is looking like, and I have to say, I really like how the colors are combining at this very moment. I definitely want to see more. Gosh, I wish I could show you. I just have a tangle of singles. This is why I don't like it. I have so many singles if I let go, whereas if they're behind me, they don't tangle up so much. It's a mess right now. So I'm going to put a dining room chair behind me, set the Lazy Kate on there, and have it behind me like I normally do. Okay, oops, I'm stuck to a battery. Hold on. Okay, there's the chair. There's the Lazy Kate right behind me. And you see how nice and straight those look? Fantastic. I guess there's a reason why that's the way I did it. I'm back for a check-in. Excuse me. It is currently 1:24, so I've been going at this for about 45 minutes? I don't know. There is what it's looking like. I am seriously so happy because to me, that looks very cohesive. I feel like they're meant to go together, which looking at each bobbin, I don't fully feel that way. I don't think they're bad. I just wasn't as confident it would look this good, and very happy with how it's turning out. Here is your nudge to do a combo spin. Go to your stash if you have one and pick 3 braids that maybe somewhat a little bit go together, and I think you'll be shocked in the plying. I don't know if I'm being as consistent with the ply as I normally am. I think it's going okay. I like more ply twist than some people, but I don't want to overdo it. The yarn is feeling very soft on the bobbin, so I think that's a good thing. I've made rope before, and that's not fun. Although I did knit socks with rope, and the socks are fine. Anyway, I'm just going to keep plying. I'm back with an update. It is 3:30 p.m. and check it out. I have a full bobbin. I tried to keep putting some more on here because it's not completely full, but I was on this end and I was just getting a lot of backspin when I would try to stop the bobbin so I could move the hook, and it just wasn't worth keeping going. I happen to know that this bobbin plus the leader on it is 104 grams. That was from an old project, and it's so handy to know that because I weighed the yarn on the bobbin, or including the bobbin, you know, and I have about 175 grams on here. So very happy with that. That's a big fat skein. And let me show you what's still left on the Lazy Kate. Oops, they're coming unstuck. So there are the 3 bobbins. They look pretty darn close to about the same. I did actually weigh all of these like on this. So I took this one and weighed this total and then each other one separately. And you know, they're, oh gosh, one was like 326, 318, and 316 or something like that. So they're close, but not quite the same. But the braids didn't start the same way either. A note on this Lazy Kate. I really like this. If you have the old version from Dreaming Robots and maybe you didn't love it or you just want something better, this is a million times better. With the old one, it was so lightweight that when I kept it back on the chair like that, I have actually pulled the Lazy Kate off the chair This one is heavy enough. It did not budge at all. And I think it's pretty great. So very happy with this. It was quite inexpensive. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I remember at the time I was looking at some other options for Lazy Kates, and one of them was from, oh gosh, it's a 3D printed bobbin company, and I'm completely blanking on it now. But they had one, and it was over $100. So I wanted to try this one first, and I'm very happy I did because I'm satisfied with this. It seems to work well. I don't know if I'm going to start plying the second bobbin tonight. I need to go cook some chicken, and we'll see what happens. My wool is dry. I have it in the same little container I had it in before. So what was 16 ounces is now 11 1/4. Okay, I just did the math, which I had to use a calculator for, but 11 1/4 out of 16 is 70%. So 70% of the original weight, meaning I lost 30% of weight in lanolin and dirt, whatever. So I don't know if that's standard. I've heard both the washing and the processing ends up being about 50-ish%. So I'm very curious to see the next step. I'm here with my end of the day check-in. It's quite early. It's 6:57 p.m., but I do have to get up early, 4 a.m. in order to make it to the gym at 5. I just hope I can sleep. I had actually planned on spinning just a bit more, but an absolute first for me. My battery's on and there's 5 lights there. It's a first ever. My battery, I used it all up. I have been spinning on the same battery, which was fully charged when I started the entire Tour De Fleece. I checked it this morning. I had 3 lights, so I thought I would be good, but apparently not. So I need to get that charged up. And I was literally, in the middle of a section that I was putting twist in, so it's kind of a mess right now. Not exactly opportune, but this is how far I've gotten plying the second bobbin. And just behind me here somewhere, oh, where are we? There we are. You can see the 3 bobbins. So the one closest to my finger there is the first one I spun, and I do believe that's going to be the first one to run out of singles. I think it weighed, I don't know now. I was going to say I think it weighed the most, but I could be wrong. I'll tell you what though, especially having spun these singles a year apart, I cannot believe how close they are. If I had just been plying someone else's singles and didn't know that they were so far apart, I would have no idea. I am quite shocked at how consistent they seem to be. I am pretty darn happy. I forgot to tell you guys earlier, this is the first bobbin. Look at the squish factor. Oh my goodness, it's so soft. I really can't wait to get this on the nitty naughty, but that's not happening tonight. I have some things to do. I have to put my laundry away and do the dishes, do all the house stuff before I try and go to sleep. It's been quite hot here today, which you all would laugh if I told you the actual temperature. It's not hot for anywhere else in the world, but it's so muggy and we don't get hot weather here. So anyway, I'm going to call it a night, and I have to try and figure out with, let's see, probably 8 feet of singles between the chair and my spinner, how I'm going to situate this so that it's not taking up the entire living room. But hopefully, just maybe, I can get this finished plying tomorrow. We'll see. Hello, it is July the 14th, 2025, and day 10 of Tour De Fleece. I've charged up my battery. I haven't tested it, but hopefully it's going to work. It says it's full, so I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. I did get up on time. I went to the gym. I got a migraine right after the 6-minute warm-up, so yeah, I pushed through. I made it to work on time. I had an appointment to get blood today. I did that. So all in all, I mean, other than the migraine, it's been an okay day. So I'm hoping that Here's my singles, right there. I'm hoping I can get this finished today, because if I do, as I've told you before, I will get this yarn finished in a year. It's ridiculous regardless, but I would really like to get it done today. So I'll give you an update when I have one. I did it, kind of. There is a mostly full bobbin, and I was right on which yarn was going to run out first. Oh, where are we? There we are. Ooh, my tripod just quit. Anyway, so where are we? That one, the purple one ran out. I still have some left of both of the others. And often when I have that happen, I'm not very good at getting the amounts right on my bobbin. So I will, if I have one that's like almost double, I will create a center pole ball and then still do a 3-ply, but 2 of one and 1 of the other. I have to weigh those, but they look awfully close. This would be a very thin 2-ply, I think. So I'm not sure that I want to do that. I could chain ply them both separately. I don't know. This is when I wish I could get immediate feedback from you all, because I want to finish this, but what time is it? It's 6:30. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to get finished, but I will weigh those and see if one happens to be about twice as much. I don't think it's going to be that way, but let's find out. Well, this one on the stand and everything weighs 286, and this one weighs 278. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Clearly I have a little bit more of this one. Maybe I'll try and do that. I'll create a center pole ball with this one and then ply it with what's left of this and see where we end up. That was a lot more singles on that bobbin than I thought it was going to be. I just kept winding and winding and winding. If you don't know the toilet paper trick, I highly recommend it. I just wind directly onto my ball winder, and I have the Stanwood. It has kind of a divot in the middle. I fold the toilet paper tube like that and then just put it on that divot and then slide the cake right up onto it. No problem at all. Now let me find my ends here. And then, so one's coming from the outside, one's coming from the inside. And I've had pretty good luck with this technique. Once in a while, my yarns will get really tangled. But the trick I have found is once you take the tube out, to put your thumb in the middle. So it won't work with like a really big cake, but for a smaller one, your thumb will work pretty well. There we go. We'll see how this goes. Wish me luck. All right, the portion of the cake, which was held double, and what was left on the last bobbin I spun is there. And that's what I have left on the final bobbin. Just a very teeny tiny little bit, which I probably will chain ply. It's not going to take very long. But I kind of like this hack of using the last bit of the singles like that, because I feel like it's close enough that I could use it for cuffs or a neckband, or probably even helical knit it into something, you know, whatever I make, in case, you know, I'm just running a little bit short. And I just prefer to use all the singles that I can. I know some people will leave some on a bobbin like this. People would just leave this on the bobbin. And I actually have a project that I have for all kinds of little bits of hand spun leftovers. If I can find it, because I'm not sure where it's at the moment, I will show it to you, because I just hate to waste any of this. So much work goes into it. I did it. All my singles are used up. I chain plied the last little bit, which is really pretty. And I know you're thinking, like, what good would this be? What could you possibly use it for? I found my hand spun project in this cute little bag that my friend got me. And I don't suspect that this project will actually ever be done in my life, but it just makes me feel good to know that I'm using my hand spun in something, especially like, oh, I think I'm showing you the back. No, it's the jelly roll. So it has the seam in the front. Wow, I'm all tangled up here. Oh, that's because I dropped yarn on the floor. Oh gosh, there's some hand spun of mine. This was a Inglenook fiber advent from a few years ago. So this is just some random hand spun that I have. I don't remember what this yellow is at all, the yellow orange, but this pink was my first attempt at long draw ever. And the great thing about this, like, gauge doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a wonky. The strips don't have to be the same width. It really just doesn't matter. Yep, I don't remember what most of this is. Oh, that's another Inglenook though, I think. Yeah, and then I was going into all my Inglenook advents, which I think I actually spun them all. I just haven't knit them all into the blanket. I really hardly ever work on this. Oh, this one. This is probably like my favorite yarn that I've ever spun. All completely spun and plied on a drop spindle. This was a yarn that I used in my tune shawl. And actually, yes, I have leftovers of the contrast. That's from 2023. So this, as I was saying, was my favorite yarn. It is a Corriedale roving that I got from an alpaca farm called the Twisted Shed in somewhere Colorado. It's the middle of nowhere, Colorado. Not far from Denver. I mean, like an hour-ish, probably. And this was some Malabrigo Nube. I don't remember the colorway name. And yeah, that was my attune shawl. So any little bits of leftovers that I have, 2-ply, 3-ply, chain ply, doesn't matter. It can go in here and I can knit on it whenever the mood strikes. So like I said, it will probably never be finished in my lifetime, but it makes me feel good to have a project that can literally use any amount. If you change colors in the middle of a row, you can use as little or as much yarn as you want, which is wonderful. So if you're wondering what to do with your little bits of hand spun, or you don't think it's worth chain plying the little bits at the end, or even modifying how you're plying, yeah, there are projects that you can do, and it's a lot of fun. So let's take a look at all 4 bobbins, because it's a lot. It's so much. There we go. So yep, next step will be to count yardage. I always count yardage pre-washing and post-washing, which unfortunately sometimes I'm lazy and I never get to the post-washing count until like I'm ready to knit a project. I try, but it's so boring. And I can already tell you, this is going to be so many wraps around a nitty naughty. So when we see these next to each other, like, they don't look that different. I think they definitely could be used helical knit, and no one would be the wiser, except for you, because I've told you. Okay, that's a wrap for day 10, and I met my goal. I finished these darn singles, this combo spin, in a year. It only took me a darn year. So that's it. I'm calling it a night. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Hello, spinning friends and spinning lurkers. It is Tour De Fleece day 11, and it is July the 15th, 2025. Since I finished plying the yarn last night, it's time for something new. And instead of it being new, I've decided to pick up another spin in progress. And since I don't know if this is official or not, I'm claiming that I've coined this term. I'm calling it a SIP, a spin in progress. I'm sure someone else figured that out already, but I'm trying to be clever. So here is the first bobbin that I have. This is a third of my fiber. This is the second bobbin, which is in progress. And the third bit of fiber that will be the third bobbin. This here is what I still have left to spin on that second bobbin. The fiber that this one is, it's Ashford, and it's merino and silk sliver. I always thought it was silver, but it's sliver. The L is before the I. It's 80% New Zealand merino and 20% silk. I'll be straight up, silk is not my favorite thing to spin. It's just so slippery and I don't love it. And this is spinning up very, very thin. I haven't, where is my, there it is. Let's see how many wraps per inch this is. Because I know from spinning this before that it just felt like it took forever because it is so thin. Let's see. This is, I don't know. It's so hard to tell. It fits in both the 35 and the 40 groove. I'm going to call it 35. So my last spin was somewhere between 30 and 35. So this one, I guess, is between 35 and 40, which means my resulting plied yarn isn't going to be as plump as probably I hope it would be. I do believe all the undyed bits are the silk. The color is called Sunset, which I think is appropriate. So this is part of a much bigger spin, and I wish I could tell you what year I started this. I bet it was 2020. The reason I say that is because I distinctly remember getting my very first e-spinner. It was a Nano, which is the same company as the Eel Wheel 6, which is the one I'm using, but it was a much smaller version. I've since sold it, but it was a good kind of segue into the e-spinner just to see if I liked it. And which one did I spin first? I think it was this one. I spun this on my Nano when we went, well, I started at home and then we went camping. I remember that. And so I spun while we were camping. I can't tell you what the fiber is, but it's something similar to, if it's not the Ashford, it's very similar. So I think it has silk. And then I spun this one, or vice versa. I don't remember which one came first, but I have these two done. And somewhere in there, this one came in. And my thought for this has always been to be a fade. So I think this one would go first, the darker one. And then we go into the sunset colors. And I have one more. I think this is the last one. So 5 colors total, hopefully. So I don't know if this one would go between or after, but sometimes you know better after you spin it too, because the colors change a little bit. Like the difference between those two, it's not drastic, but obviously this has more variation, I guess, and this kind of like smooths it out, if that makes sense. So this one is also Ashford, and this is the color pomegranate. So I'm thinking this will probably go between the pink and the sunset orange at the end. Just a guess. So yes, I started this forever ago. I thought I would do the, what is the color shifting sweater by Andrea Mowry? I've knit one of them in commercial yarn, and I cannot think what it's called. But that was my thought for this, and it's just sat undone for a very long time. The last time when I started spinning this one was maybe 2023. So it's been sitting on the bobbin for a long time, longer than the spin from last year for sure. And again, it's just kind of because I don't love spinning this. And I pretty much stay away from buying fibers with silk in them because I just don't enjoy it. So we're going to give it a go. I would love it if I could finish this and the next one in Tour De Fleece. I've been on a roll, so let's see. But obviously it's spinning really thin. Also, I have to remember which way was I spinning the singles. I think I'm spinning them Z and then plying S, but hopefully I made some notes because this is not on the wheel and I don't know. Wish me luck. Hello, it is now 7:11 p.m., so quite a bit later, although I have not been spinning this whole time. This is what my second bobbin, the one that I showed you was in progress, looks like. And when I first started spinning on it, I was probably about right here, so I spun to the end and I'm just starting to come back. So these would be the older singles, these would be the newer singles. And I feel like as I'm spinning, it's not as consistent. But when I look on the bobbin, I feel like it looks okay. Like it's not drastically different, but it's certainly less consistent than the spin I was just doing. And probably partly because I went so darn thin with this. I don't know what I was thinking. But also, I think it's just the combination of wool and silk. It reminds me again why I don't really prefer silk. And it just, the lengths of the fiber are different. It makes it harder, for me anyway. This is all that I have left of that portion that I had in progress that I showed you. I did this, so it looked real long. I didn't even separate the fiber into strips. I just dizzed straight across or straight down, however you want to say it. And I was hoping that it would make it easier to spin. I'm not sure if it really does. I just find that the silk kind of clumps up in some sections. It's harder to draft, and then you get some really short wool. I don't know. If you have any tips for spinning blends, I would love to hear it because I'm feeling very challenged, and probably a different prep would be better. Probably roll eggs or spinning from the fold, or I don't know, but this is what we're doing. So we're working our way through it and we will get it done. It's just going to be more challenging, and that's okay. Not everything has to be easy, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's my update for today. So I will check in with you tomorrow. It's probably going to look a lot like today. Hey, it is Tour De Fleece day 12 and July the 16th. I'm having quite the day, which technically started last night. I was just drifting off to sleep last night when my work phone rang, and I spent the next hour or so coordinating some things for work and trying to mitigate disaster. And part of me was like, oh, I shouldn't work out because I'm not getting much sleep. I got less than 6 hours. That's not enough for me. I know some people survive on that, but it's rough for me. But then I was like, no, I've only been doing it. This will be like the second day. I cannot skip. So I went. Everything was fine. And came home, got showered, all ready to go to work. I was on time. Everything was going great. I knew I had a lot of stuff to do once I got into work, dealing with the stuff from last night. And there's like a step for our front door that goes down to a landing. And I didn't completely get my foot down on the landing. It was half on the step and half on nothing. And I rolled my ankle and I fell down and I hit the ground hard. There's my Band-Aid and I have one to match on my left knee. And needless to say, it hurts. I don't think I have fallen like that probably since I was a small child. And not that I really remember the pain of that, but I think it hurts worse now. So anyway, so I still got to work on time. I sat on that stoop for a while though, and I was contemplating life and whether or not I could get up. But I did. I got up, got in my car, still made it to work, and got some things going. And then I was like, can I go to urgent care? And they said yes. And they took x-rays. Nothing's broken. But dang, it hurts. And it's probably going to hurt worse tomorrow because, everything's going to stiffen up overnight. So all that long story to tell you, I don't think I'm going to spin much today. I'm going to get my at least 5 minutes in, but honestly, I'm tired and I'm ready to go to bed. So that's where I showed you I left off yesterday. That's where I'm picking back up today. And when I posted my picture on Instagram, I asked for tips for spinning silk. And the first thing that people told me was that when it's kind of chunky like this, where you see the big white spots, and actually that's been dizzed or pre-drafted. So this is what the fiber actually looks like, before all that. And when you have those large chunks, apparently that makes it more difficult. So if you have a well-blended silk, it will be easier to spin. They said, make sure you're getting enough twist, which I'm definitely doing. That's not the issue. Somebody said slow down the spinning speed to take more time to draft your singles. And that would probably be the thing to do, but I don't want to. I don't want to go slower. I want this spin done. I'm trying to think if there's any other tips. Those are ones I'm remembering. I do feel like there was one more and it's not coming to me. So yep, I'm going to do just a little bit and I will show you the bobbin, which is probably going to look a whole lot like it does right now. Okay, I surprised myself. I did more than 5 minutes. I actually did 15. And there's where we are. So I did move the hook and I did make some progress. Even in a little bit of time, you can still make progress on your spin. I know people swear by the 15 minutes a day thing and claim that they make quite a lot of progress when they do that. This bit of fiber that I have for this rest of this bobbin is getting teeny tiny. If I would have done probably my normal, I would say I'm averaging probably about an hour a day would be my guess. I probably could have finished that, but I think my rest is more important tonight. So I'm going to prioritize that. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Here we are, Tour De Fleece day 13, I do believe, and it is July 17th. I am starting to lose track for sure. I'm amazed I've kept up with it this long, but I had to second guess what day it was. Here's a little update on my elbow. It hurts. I'm definitely bruised and it's not the easiest thing to see, but I got myself good. It's feeling a lot better today. The worst is just any pressure on it really hurts, but beyond that, I'm doing okay. I can bend it and move it, so that's great. And they called me to verify just that my x-rays had no breaks, so good to go. In case you don't remember, this is where we left off yesterday. And I just got home from work, so maybe I will do more than 15 minutes of spinning today. I would really like to finish this off. This is how much I have to finish the second bobbin, and I would love to get the third one started, but we'll see where this takes us. I have an update, and it didn't take very long. I have finished the second bobbin, so there we go. Somehow I ended up with 2 blues. Another one's going to be white. So anyway, yes, this looks like such a small amount of yarn compared to, the last spin, which was 100 grams on each bobbin, and this is about 33. So a whole lot less spinning. And now I get the chore of dizzing this fiber, which is my not fun part of things, but it needs to be done. So at least I think it needs to be done. So that's my next step. I'm back and I'm ready to call day 13 of Tour De Fleece done. So let's see. I finished the second bobbin. So there we go. There's 2 done. And I even started and got a good start on the third one. Third and final, I should say. So let's see here. This is what I have left to spin onto this bobbin, and I'm feeling fairly optimistic about it. I think I should have these singles done this weekend, I hope, but I do have plans of hopefully making a bat and a carded, a bat is carded, a combed fiber preparation out of that merino that I cleaned to see if I can possibly clean some more. But I think that's it for today. I will talk to you tomorrow, which is Friday. Hello, friends. It's Friday, and thank goodness, because what a week it's been. It is Tour De Fleece Day 14, and as I said, it is Friday, July the 18th. And again, I had a rough night last night. I got several work calls just after midnight, right smack dab in the middle of my sleep. And I still got up and went to the gym this morning. Luckily, the work calls weren't anything too difficult. And before I went to bed last night, I was working on my Marled Magic blanket, section 6. And I was certain that the pattern was wrong. I sent in an email and nope, they replied back and I totally missed 2 rows. Let me tell you how much 2 rows can mess stuff up, especially when you're doing seed stitch. So I just got home from work. I ripped that out, got everything situated again, and now I'm ready to do just a little bit of spinning. This is where we are picking up today. But I am waiting for my husband to get home because we are going to pizza. I'm very excited about that. And then we'll come home and I'll do a little bit more spinning. But this is going to be the last clip, or actually, I guess the next clip will actually be the last clip, but when I give you an update for what I've spun today. This is it for the video. If you're still here, thank you. I know this has been a long one, but the washing wool segment at the beginning was pretty long. And starting Saturday, tomorrow, Tour De Fleece Day 15, we'll be starting the new week, new video. So thank you if you're still here. I hope that you found something useful and maybe informational, and if not, maybe entertaining at the least. But I'm going to do some spinning now, and I will show you my progress soon. I'm back. We've eaten pizza, watched a show, I've done some spinning, and we just walked the dogs. So this is what my bobbin is looking like. And this is how much fiber I have left for this third and final bobbin. This is it. That is very exciting. But I think we're going to watch one more show and then call it a night, but I am done recording. So you'll have to check into the week 3 vlog to see my progress that I make tonight. And I'll say spoiler, it's not really a known spoiler, but I bet you I finished this spin in the 3rd week. I certainly hope so. Anyway, as I said before, thank you so much for joining me, and the 3rd week will be coming real soon. I'll see you then. Bye. Just kidding. You thought we were done. I thought we were done. We're not done. I just got done watching the 2nd episode that I was talking about of High Potential, which is a really great show, by the way. And I did it. I finished all 3. Remember I said spoiler? It's not for the 3rd week. It's going to be for the 2nd week. So that is fantastic. Not so easy to hold 3 bobbins at once, so not at all. Yeah, there we go. 3 bobbins. Started January of 2023 and finished July of 2025. I guess not technically finished yet, but the singles are done, and that is the hard part. So now we just have to ply. But that will be for video 3 because I'm not starting that tonight. Now, for real, I'll see you in the next one.